country, the extent of lands cannot be increased.
Sure.
But the productivity can be enhanced. Productivity and quality enhancement are the key to win the world market. The quality, you can't compromise it at all. So the quality has to be maintained. To do that, technology has a pivotal role to play. Sri Lankan tea over the years was very famous in the world as the best tea. What happened to the industry? Some people diluted the tea market, mixing a lot of tea dust and other materials. So as a result, the quality of Ceylon tea is no longer in the international market. We have the best pepper in the world. 5% content of our pepper is 6%. The competitors, they have 2%. And also we have the best cinnamon in the world with the lowest coumarin percent. Coumarin is carcinogenic.
Through the centuries, Ceylon's position as a trade hub was in part due to the attractiveness of its spice exports. How can Sri Lanka recapture some of that magic? Hello, you're with Echelon's Turning Point, and with us in the studio today is Anushka Vidanapathirana. Anushka is founder and CEO of Bespice and Live Nature Products. He is also the secretary of the Spice Council of Sri Lanka. So, Anushka Vidanapathirana, it's great to have you here at Echelon. Let's start here, Anushka. You are an exporter of Sri Lankan spices. Sri Lanka has a storied history with spices and exports, because I think a large part of us becoming a center of trade was due to the demand for Sri Lankan spices over the years, over the centuries. It looks like we've lost that edge in the spice world. What do you think we can do to recapture some of that?
Like you rightly said, even well before this Portuguese or Dutch, the British, they captured Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka was a hub of spices. If you go back to ancient era, where some of the kings in Sri Lanka had burnt cinnamon wood when they were fighting with these invaders. So we were known for spices from the history, but unfortunately, like you said, we have lost our markets to some emerging countries like Vietnam, Indonesia, Tanzania, or Madagascar, some islands like Zanzibar. Oh, they were actually positioning well in the world market now, spice market. All these countries came in search of spices to Sri Lanka, but we are rightly located in the world map geographically, or the climatic condition is ideal for spices. Unfortunately, we are losing our market to competitors. So this is the time to rethink our strategies and start positioning ourselves as a prime destinations of spices.
So how do we get about doing that? Assume we put together a strategy, and you're with the Spice Council of Sri Lanka, which is kind of like the industry body for spice manufacturers and exporters. What's the thinking? How do we get about increasing our market share?
Our country, the extent of lands cannot be increased, but the productivity can be enhanced. That is a very key area we have to look at seriously. And also the quality. The productivity and quality enhancement are the key to win the world market. Say, for example, when it comes to productivity, what have we done, either by the government or the private sector, to introduce the new technology to the industry? Still, we haven't done researches on the best yielding crops, or what are the best fertilizer, whether it is compost or chemicals, whatever. Have we done enough research in the country?
Sure.
Honestly, no. Or limited researchers. As a result, the productivity is still, in a very low level compared to other countries. If you go to, I'm not comparing it with other countries, but we have to benchmark. You go to Vietnam and see their technologies, how they are growing their spices. But we are yet to introduce the technology to the industry. If you go to Kandy, Monaragala, Bibil area, our farmers are still, practicing the old mode of farming, harvesting. Nothing has been introduced. We just talk that spice is a main contributor to the economy, but unfortunately, the system has not been changed. The same routine activities are going on. So, like what happened to our tea industries, we are slowly losing to our competitors. So, the productivity is a key to win the world market. On the other hand, the quality. So, the quality means you can't compromise it at all. So the quality has to be maintained. To do that, again, the technology has a pivotal role to play. So quality and productivity are the key to enhance this sector.
You talked about benchmarking our productivity against our main competitors like Vietnam and Tanzania and other places in Africa. Do you have a sort of sense about how much more productive they are? Are they twice as more productive as Sri Lankan manufacturers or growers?
I think more than that. The reason is there are a lot of informal groups or bodies in this sector still target on marketing. In order to market a product, we have to conform to the quality. So unfortunately, we are winning the customers, and about year or two down the line, we are losing the customer because of the product problems. So we can introduce the product to different markets by doing the best promotions. But if we fail to stick into the quality, then no point winning the customers. That's what I emphasize. The quality is the key to win the market.
When you mean quality, what do you exactly sort of attribute to it? What does quality mean in spices?
Good question. I'll go to the related industry, tea. Sri Lankan tea over the years was very famous in the world as the best tea. What happened to the industry? So some people diluted the tea market by introducing, mixing a lot of tea dust and other materials. So as a result, the quality of tea, Ceylon tea, is no longer in the international market. Likewise, in this sector also, people do a lot of admixtures, right? When you want hand-picked cloves, you have some extraneous matters in it. So those are controllable elements. But the quality is identified with the active ingredient of those spices. So
Right.
for example, if it is pepper, the piperin content. If it is cinnamon, coumarin percentage. Likewise, those have to be promoted. Now we have the best pepper in the world, like the piperin content of our pepper is 6%, whereas the competitors, they have 2%. So almost 3 times of other countries. And also we have the best cinnamon in the world with the lowest coumarin percent. Coumarin is over consumption of coumarin is carcinogenic. So the quality means the active ingredients of these spices have to be maintained. If you over dry, you lose VO, right? If you do not sterilize, it has a lot of bacterial and other elements which are harmful to the for the human consumption. And that's why the technology to maintain the proper volatile oil content of these spices and to kill bacteria. And these are the quality parameters. So end of the day, we must give I would say, free of these insects, free of these bacterial elements, and with the proper volatile oil content of the material. So in order to do that, the technology, say for example, how many exporters have sterilizing machines? How many exporters have the technological support for identifying the bacterial elements of these spices? So no. And our laboratories in Sri Lanka, none of our laboratories are identified internationally as their certificates. If we introduce to the customer, they ask us to bring a certificate from GBO, Eurofins in Europe. So our laboratories, are we equipped with facilities to do the testings? Those are the areas we have to think when it comes to quality. So that quality means the external factors and also the internal factors of these.
How do you as an industry, because you are secretary of the Spice Council, which is the industry body,
Yeah.
right? How do you sort of go about solving this? If you solve some of these things around productivity and around quality, which is both, as you say, internal and external factors, right? You may be able to raise the fortunes of the entire industry, and with it, so many farmers and people, right? How do you go about solving this? Because these don't look like unsolvable things.
Correct. So recently we had our annual AGM. There also what we highlighted, the requirement of bringing in new regulations to combat some unscrupulous activities happening in the industry, like mixing some downgraded materials to the product and going for short-term gains. So that is one thing. The other one is the technological support. That has to be, there are a lot of government institutions like Department of Agriculture, Export Development Board, and some provincial council institutions. Those have to go and talk to the farmer. You can't expect the farmer to come and get their advices. So there should be a mechanism to educate them. So, and the changes in the international market has to be
Communicated down to the farmers.
of course, because end of the day, the farmer who makes the product, so exporters or wholesalers, whoever in the middle of the value chain has a less role when it comes to the quality. Quality should come from the farm unit, because that's where the product comes. So then the distribution, you know, the wastage occurs in transit of these goods, and also there are items perishable. So those have to be controlled. And in the export processing companies, then again the technological support. So President, I think, has a vision in this matter, and he's proposing a kind of one roof, all the solutions under one roof. These Export Development Board, Export Agriculture, because if you address the problem from different sectors, it's just multiple works, but the problem is not solved. So we have to have one apex body in the spice sector to address all these issues. That is what we are proposing to the government repeatedly, to amalgamate some of these institutions, and like BOI, we need one place to handle these problems in the sector.
Let's talk about the organizations you founded, two companies that you have founded, Anushka. Bespice, which is a bulk spice exporter, and also Live Nature Exports, as you say, a value-added spice exporter, right? You have been remarkably successful in a fairly short period of time. What do you attribute to that success of your companies?
I'll answer to that question with 4 C's. Right? The first one is the confidence. Confidence in the sense, to enter into this sector, you must have the confidence to win the world market. So you have to travel overseas, you have to meet customers in person, you have to convince them. So if you are not confident enough to enter this sector and win the international customers, spice sector is not yours. So confidence is very key. Then the commitment. Lot of problems in the sector. When it comes to product, there are a lot of problems. Then marketing, not easy. Then employee management, and when it comes to all 4 P's, problems. So you must be committed to all these, especially to the quality. So that is also another C. Then courage, right? So if you are not courage enough to absorb all these problems within 3 years, we wouldn't have traveled this far. And finally, the conformity. You cannot, do things here on ad hoc basis. You have to streamline your production process, and your marketing strategies have to be in line with the international requirements. So the conformity is also a very vital component. So the confidence, courage, commitment, and conformity are the keys that I have, believed in venturing this successful company.
What do you think? I mean, those four C's are then possibly similarly applicable to the rest of the industry,
Yeah.
right? You talked about also the productivity, and you have in the sector the poor productivity in the spice sector. I think particularly at the farmer end, right? Another way to sort of improve your margins, improve the yields on the product is to brand it and position yourself higher up in the value chain. Are you doing that? What's been the results of trying to do that?
About 15% of our income comes from the value-added items.
Right.
So creating a brand, I think, very much important to position in the international market. Now, when you say the name Bespice, it is known now across India, our neighbor, and then in the Dubai market. Bespice is a brand known for quality spices. Likewise, our Live Nature brand, it is a related diversification for value addition. Like we have herbs in our Live Nature Exports company, then we have coconut related product, cocoa peat and charcoal manufacturing. These are related to the sector and a value added item. Why do we do both together? Because one has to be complemented in case of any, problem. Let's say the bulk spices are, when we are short of materials, then we have the value added arm to support. That was my intention to have two companies, so supporting each other.
How has the journey been around value-added exports? Because it's not like you're just simply putting things in a box and putting a brand on it, right? There is so much more in the supply chain that you have to control. You have to have machinery, you have to follow processes, you have to get certifications when you're value adding, I suppose, right? If you look at the sorts of challenges that are holding you back from growing even faster in the value added area, what would those challenges be?
The biggest challenge is the capital. Say, for example, if you want to try out a new product, you have to go through the research process, then the market development, trials, and the certificates. Now, currently, we are certified by Control Union Netherlands for organic exports. We have EU, USD, JAS certifications, and also the SGS have given us the certificates of quality, ISO 9001, then 22000 GMP. All these certifications obtaining process is time consuming and costly. So the capital required for improving the productivity and the quality is a big problem in the industry.
And the capital has been very costly these
days. That's what I wanted to emphasize. If you go for bank borrowings, recently it was reduced, but at the time I started, it was above 18% per annum.
And that would have gone up to 30% plus.
Correct, during the
economic crisis.
So for a new entrant, this is a challenging, the capital, and also the human capital. Not only this, human capital in this sector, turnover is very high. They just go for small benefits, like they go from one company to another. very small benefits, I would say. We have to train good managers, right? All of a sudden, you can see them in another company because the retention of human capital is also a challenge in this sector. The other thing is technology. I have repeatedly said about this. If you don't have the right technology to maintain the quality, that is also a big challenge.
When you look at the future, right, and as chairman and chief executive, it is your job to be looking at not just tomorrow's or next quarter's earnings. You have to be looking 5 years down the line. What's your vision for Bespice and Live Nature Exports?
5 years down the line, the best and the largest exporter of spices of Sri Lanka. Not only in Sri Lanka, I want to be the number one brand in the region. That is my vision. Also, I want one day the Ceylon spices be identified as the premium quality spices in the world. At the moment, we have the best tea, but still we are losing to Kenya. But one day, if we can create a mindset that we have the best spices in the world, of course, we don't need to export big volumes. Instead, we can get a better price, premium price. So because we are a small country, we don't have lands to grow. The technology can improve the productivity, but the marketeers can develop a brand. If that is identified, the brand equity, can be valued in billions. That is my vision.
Anushka, in conclusion, anything you want to add?
My advice, to the young entrepreneurs, this is a very good sector, potential sector. So being the secretary to the Spice Council, I'm addressing these farmer conferences and some spice exporters. I'm meeting them. What I want them to learn, there are no short-term gains in this sector. If you are committed, the potential is enormous and you can triumph definitely in this sector. So come and join, invest more in this sector, and together we can succeed. That is my message to the new entrants.
Anushka Vidanapathirana, this has been an awesome conversation. Thank you for joining Echelon.
Thank you very much for inviting me.